Buckle up. The Democrats are staging another coup.
I saw some Republican members of Congress saying, oh, well, if we have this shutdown, it's because of AOC. Well, if that's the case, my office is open and you are free to walk in and negotiate with me directly.
AOC is announcing, I'm captain now, and told Schumer to walk the plank. Chuck, did you hear that?
The Schumer shutdown. What do you say about that name? Senator Schumer, can you hear me?
I can't hear.
Senator Schumer, can you hear me? I don't think Senator Schumer can hear me right now. Maybe the government shutdown included audio on Capitol Hill.
Do we even need to hear from Chuck? Because AOC is the shot caller. She told Chuck to shut it down, and he did. He shut it down so he can keep his job.
Chuck Schumer is terrified she's going to get a primary challenge from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The reason why the American people's government is shut down is because Chuck Schumer is listening to the far-left radicals in his own party because he's terrified of a primary challenge.
The White House posted this picture of Schumer as a hot dog. Don't worry, it's kosher. We also hope Chuck grills dogs better than burgers. Speaking of barbecue, what's up with his hands? Did he burn them on the grill? Democrats don't have a political party, but at least they have a Halloween party. Chuck's dressed as a hot dog, AOC's a pirate, and Hakeem's wearing a sombrero. Nancy didn't get the invite, and now she's rhymes with hissed.
There was a thought from the Republicans that AOC is directing this, and she said that senators are welcome to go to her office directly. Is she driving that?
Why are you saying such a ridiculous thing?
I'm just quoting what AOC said. She said go to her office directly. Do you think there's any credibility to that?
She's not directing this. She's wonderful. She's a real team player and the rest of that. You started by saying Republicans saying that she's directing this. She is not. Hakeem Jeffries is.
Hakeem's in charge. You mean the guy taking shutdown selfies and holding sombrero press conferences?
It was a disgusting video. It was a racist video. It was unbecoming of anyone purporting to be the president of the United States of America. But y'all, I ain't scared.
No one said you were scared, Hips. It's just a sombrero. Democrats called Trump a Nazi and let him get shot in the head. He ain't scared. They didn't demand answers after Butler, but now they want Mike Johnson to investigate Sombrero Gate.
With our leader in a sombrero, nodding with a mustache, and Schumer saying things, of course, that he never said. The speaker said that was not his style. I said, did you call it out? You should call it out for the racist, bigoted thing that it was. And he questioned whether or not it was racist.
What's racist about a sombrero? They're acting like they put a Black Panther cap on them. They've been putting white hoods on Trump's head for 10 years. But a sombrero's racist? It's actually kind of racist to think a sombrero is racist.
Hakeem Jeffries said it was racist, and I know that he said that, and I honestly don't even know what that means. Like, is he a Mexican-American that is offended by having a sombrero meme? And I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. And I've talked to the President of the United States about that.
So what we have here is a good old Mexican standoff. Trump will stop putting up pictures of hips in a sombrero if Democrats stop demanding health care for illegals to keep the government running. It's not like Trump didn't let Hakeem pick his hat. Hips could have walked out of the Oval with a big, beautiful Trump 2028 hat. Trump said, come on, Jeffries, Biden wore one. But Hakeem said, red's not my color.
Well, actually, he did not try to hand Leader Schumer and I the Trump 2028 hat. They just randomly appeared in the middle of the meeting on the desk. It was the strangest thing ever. And I just looked at the hat, looked at J.D. Vance, who was seated to my left, and said, don't you got a problem with this? And he said no comment. And that was the end of it.
So if Hakeem walked out with a deal and a hat, we wouldn't be here. Now the government is officially shut down, and no one knows who's in charge of the Democrat Party. So they're running around the Hill banging on doors.
Open the door, Mr. Speaker. Open the doors of Congress, Mr. Speaker.
Transgender congressmen are storming the Capitol trying to find Johnson.
We're barreling towards a shutdown. All my Democratic colleagues are here. I'm going to go search for my Republican colleagues. Republicans, y'all know there's a government shutdown. Republicans, anyone here? Is Mike Johnson in here?
Remember Shree, the 70-year-old Indian congressman that tried to impeach Trump? Well, he just flew the coop and said the quiet part out loud.
Returning back to Detroit this morning after the Republicans failed to show up in the U.S. House. We got to make sure Americans have the health care that they need. And if that means we got to shut this government down, so be it.
Shree's going to be in trouble with hips. Democrats aren't supposed to admit they're the ones shutting down the government. We all know they're shutting it down to give illegal aliens free health care, but they're not supposed to admit that either. But they did.
The amount of money that actually is going towards people who are undocumented is such a small portion of the Medicaid cuts or the Affordable Care Act, if at all.
They went from illegal aliens don't get free health care to, yeah, we're giving them free health care, but it just doesn't cost that much. CNN caught them red-handed. Watch.
They talk about the provisions, and it's right here, subtitle E. And this has to do with the repeal of health care. What you support does bring back funding for emergency Medicaid to hospitals, some of which does pay for undocumented immigrants. Why even include that in a bill knowing that they're going to seize right upon that?
Hakeem didn't answer the question, but Maxine did. No relation. She said Democrats are demanding health care for everybody. Trump and JD, they aren't going to let that slide.
There's a lot of emergency health care at hospitals that are provided to illegal aliens. That was funded by the federal government. The Biden administration gave mass parole to millions upon millions of illegal aliens, and then they simultaneously made those parolees eligible for health care benefits funded by taxpayers.
Biden was waving an amnesty wand and giving millions of illegals free health care. Illegals were going to the hospital to have babies, free. In California, they were able to get sex changes free. Illegals use the hospital when they have the sniffles, all free. We got fleeced. So Trump closed the bank. A Times poll says 65% of the country thinks Democrats are delusional for shutting down the government for this. Schumer calls it fake news.
The question in that poll is biased. Biased in the New York Times, but it's biased. If you turn the That's true. I don't always believe the New York Times.
Democrats are getting annihilated in the PR battle. The media won't lie for them, and they don't even know how to meme.
We're also dealing with the social media, which we didn't do enough of, frankly, in the past. And that was a mistake, and we're trying to rectify it.
Chuck has to save face with the base and show he can fight, or else he's going to get cooed. The Democrats are going through the same growing pains that the Republicans went through 15 years ago with the Tea Party and then with the Freedom Caucus. Republicans got rid of Eric Cantor, Boehner, Kevin McCarthy. But the Democrat Party never let the beefs play out. They shut down Bernie. Nancy put AOC in timeout, and they stole the nomination from Biden. The Democrat establishment's on a collision course with its base. Now, these kinds of fights should be done in the primary, when voters decide the winners and losers. But when you do it in a shutdown, both factions lose. Trump's not caving, not for illegal alien health care. The government will reopen. Sombreros or no sombreros, there will be no fiesta. But Schumer will always look like a wiener.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.